So today I wanted to talk about the eight worldly concerns, um, which are also called the eight worldly dharmas. There's four pairs. So the first is attachment to receiving material possessions and aversion to not receiving them or to be separated from them. And so when I think about this one, it often has come up in my life. If I'm going to, if I see some new gadget or something and I want to get it, and I start conceptualizing in my mind what it's going to do for me, and it's going to be wonderful, and I'm going to love it, and blah, 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 it's going to make my life easier, all those things. And then over some time, then it breaks, and then I get angry, and I don't like that, and so that's usual thing that happens with this one, the receiving material possessions and aversion to not receiving them or to be separated from them. Or, I've planned something and then it doesn't happen and then I'm disappointed. So again, this up and down motion from attachment to aversion. The second is praise, attachment to praise or approval, and aversion to blame or disapproval. So with this one, I thought about in the past when I tried to maneuver myself around somebody that I was attached to and I wanted them to see what I had done or what I was doing. So kind of, putting yourself in a position so that you're noticed and you did that really well or something like that. That's kind of an icky mind, I will say. um, and then, of course, aversion to blame or disapproval. There's all kinds of things we can do with that one. Disappear, hide, yeah. No, I didn't do that, all of those kinds of things. So again, pretty icky mind. The attachment to good reputation and aversion to a bad reputation. For this one, it has to do to me with kind of identity. If I have an identity that I'm somebody that can do something, then if somebody else is picked to do it instead of me, I can get irritated or, angry even, or, and it's just because I'm holding who I am so tightly, yeah. And even in situations where I was looking forward to somebody doing something, like when Venerable Munlam started stepping up to help with the community care, there was a part of my mind that was like, no, this is mine. Get out of here, no. So, icky mind again. Yeah. Attachment to pleasures of the five senses and aversion to unpleasant experiences. So that one, the easiest one is, of course, food. I'm anticipating what we're having for lunch, and I again use my conceptual mind, and I often think about that kind of food somewhere else and how wonderful it tastes. And then I get it here, and I start. This has nothing to do with who cooked it. It has everything to do with I created in my mind. And it's like, what is this? Or no, not quite right, or whatever, yeah? So all the time and energy we spend with these eight worldly concerns, it's just astounding. The other one with this one is the belief that the body should always feel good. And when it doesn't, I don't like that. And again, it's holding to something that is permanent and set up, and it should not do these things. Yeah, it should always feel good. Does anybody have that? Or, yeah? Yeah, so these eight worldly concerns really dominate our lives and cause us problems and make us waste so much time. And like Venerable has said, they arise easily when we think of only the happiness of this life. So it's a pretty small, narrow view. It isn't about future lives and past lives at all. So, and then she also says the greater the attachment to something, the greater the aversion when we don't get it or separated from it. So those two are really like a teeter-totter. If I'm really attached, then I'm really angry. So like that. Shantideva analyzes these 8 worldly concerns, or the 8 transitory things, in his text, A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. So I thought to read a few of those. They're kind of interesting, I think. So in chapter 6, verse 90, he says, the honor of praise and fame will not turn into merit or life. It will give me neither strength nor freedom from sickness. It will not provide any physical happiness. And then in the same chapter, verse 92, if, for the sake of fame, I give away my wealth or get myself killed, what can the mere words of fame do then? Once I have died, to whom will they give pleasure? Then verse 93, when their sand castles collapse, children howl in despair. Likewise, when my praise and reputation decline, my mind becomes like a little child. I like that one. And I practice that one. If we are praised and things go well for a short time or even for a long time, when it's over, it's as if it was a dream. I mean, think about the praise you got 10 years ago. Can you even remember it? 5 years ago? 2 years ago? Some people can. A month ago? Does anybody get any praise here? Yes, we do. You know, in the end, what deep significance does it bring? We can also question if there is any real benefit to getting praised. Is there any underlying essence to praise and fame? And like when in a relationship and it falls apart, or we lose a job, or something else goes bad in our life, it's like our sandcastle has collapsed. And this is because we made something or someone into a big thing and became all excited. Then when things collapse, we get very upset. So the point is to not make such a big deal out of either things going well or things going badly. We can see them both like a dream or like an illusion. To truly develop this deep level of understanding, we need to learn and practice emptiness meditation. In chapter 8, Shantideva writes, worldly life is not forsaken because of attachment to people and due to craving for material gain and the like. Therefore, I should entirely forsake these things, for this is the way in which the wise behave. And then in that same chapter, verse 4, he writes, an exceptionally perceptive state of mind joined onto a stilled and settled state completely destroys the disturbing emotions. Having understood this, first I shall seek a stilled and settled mind, and that's achieved through delight in detachment from worldly concerns. So we need a combination of a mind that's stilled and focused and an exceptionally perceptive state of mind that can understand the true nature of the 8 transitory things. When we join these 2 states of mind, then we can break through the ups and downs of these 8 worldly feelings and see everything like an illusion. In chapter 9, verse 151, he writes, what is there to gain and what is there to lose with things that are empty of true existence in this way? Who is there to pay me respect, and who is there to abuse me? And then verse 152, what is there from which there's pleasure or pain? What is there to be disliked or liked? What craving is there that's searching for an actual findable nature? And what is it for that there's craving? So, the ability to see things like an illusion comes from emptiness analysis of the things that we get so excited about, examining what we like and dislike, as well as who it is that's doing the liking and disliking. So, the best method for when we get overly excited, receive praise, hear good news, given something, and to avoid getting upset when we hear criticism, bad news, suffer losses, or have things go poorly, then we want to think about the nature of all of this. That it's just like an illusion, that there is nothing solidly fixed, that there is no happiness in anything that we are attached to. That is why we get misery when we attach to it in that way. So the way to get free of this emotional roller coaster is by knowing that all phenomena are like an illusion. And this knowledge comes from our understanding of emptiness. So we can eventually be free of our bondage, the bondage to samsara, without any clinging. And when this occurs, there will be no more clinging to the me and no identification with these 8 worldly concerns. And that sounds pretty wonderful.